this is Rose, and she is a female bearded dragon. Please excuse her look right now. She is in the middle of a shed. It's quite embarrassing for her. So what we're going to do with Rose today is I'm going to show you how to do tease feeding. So sometimes when reptiles are not eating as well as they should be, sometimes it's helpful to try a tease feeding. Now, the way that we do tease feeding with reptiles is either with little forceps, so you can use tweezers at home, or you can use something like hemostats here in the hospital. And Rose wants to make sure you know she's there. When choosing food items, obviously bearded dragons can have worms or veggies, and usually when we're tease feeding, we are trying to tease feed proteins. So worms, dubia roaches, crickets, those types of things. So we're just going to kind of demonstrate this here with Rose. So I've got a few mealworms over here. So you want to grab the mealworm or the bug inside your forceps, kind of let them see that it's there. If it does like any wiggling, that can sometimes help as well. Sometimes rubbing it kind of along the face will indicate like some irritation or some abnormal feeling to them. So she's looking at it now and she's thinking about it. There you go. So it doesn't always work quite that easily, but trying to at least tempt them. So now Rose is really paying attention to these tongs here. So she sees it and she grabs it. You can train this behavior. But again, sometimes rubbing it, good job, Rose. She wants one more, big kid. So again, just kind of grabbing it, having it in there. I know, pay attention to it. Swing and a miss. You get it? There you go. So it is something that you can train this type of behavior, but sometimes when a bearded dragon is not eating as well as it should, sometimes it's helpful to try to just kind of stimulate so you can kind of move it around. Sometimes people will actually take it and kind of run it along the ground to kind of mimic an insect walking. So for instance, we'll kind of take one here from the sawdust, kind of mimicking walking with an insect, and so that can sometimes stimulate them just in general to be able to want to get it. And so she's going to check it out now. Try it one more time. There we go. So just another way to try to help get or tempt your bearded dragon to eat. You can also do this with veggies and things too, if you needed to, especially if your kiddo's not really into veggies. This is something that you can try. We'll see what she thinks of this. Oh my goodness, no veggies, she says, no veggies. Do you want that? If a bearded dragon is not doing well with tease feeding alone, sometimes we need to do some force feeding. So force feeding can be a little bit more tricky. Obviously, we need to get the mouth open, and that's usually the hardest part. To get the mouth open safely, there's multiple ways to do it. You can gently kind of pull on the gular area of the mouth while having your fingers at the ears, and Kate can kind of demonstrate this. So being able to open the mouth and put something in it that way. Beautiful. The other way that we can try, if you're not able to do that, is with a guitar pick or credit card or even something like a rubber spatula. The reason that I recommend these types of instruments to open the mouth is that they're soft and pliable, and so they don't cause as much trauma to the mouth. These guys have very sensitive gingiva and very specific teeth that you can damage with hard items such as metal. So we want to try to stay away from things like that. So kind of taking the lips, and you can kind of see where if I lower the lip down here, you can take the guitar pick and gently kind of put that in there. and be able to kind of have the mouth be open with a guitar pick. Okay, so that's just another way that you can atraumatically, or as least traumatic as possible, open up the mouth in a bearded dragon. So we'll demonstrate the force feeding with Kate holding the mouth open, and then we'll go ahead and put this in with the tongs. So gently open and in there. So that's how you force feed.